Page 138, we welcomed the Sabbath bride with the words of Lecha Dodi, and our tradition was to go out to the edge of the fields and set the table as if for a wedding for a bride, and we welcomed the bride with these words, page 138. ושמאל תפארתי ואת אדוני תריצי על ידי ואין פרתי ונשמחה ונגילה to come to the front and light Shabbat candles. As she does come to the front, I will take this opportunity to light this memorial candle, recognizing that unfortunately so many are not able to be with us today as we celebrate Shabbat. Unfortunately, many, whether in Israel or around the world, are not able to be with us. And so, Dimitri, if you join us, lead us in the English reading.
As these candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you, Dimitri. And so we turn to each other, and if there's anyone nearby whose name you don't know, greet them, make them feel welcome, make them feel very warm and at home. Shabbat Shalom. It's yours. היגיון בחינות מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון כי שמחתני אדוני בפועלך במעשה ידיך רנן מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך איש בר לא ידע וכסיל לא יבין עצות מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך צדיקת העמד יפרח כארז בלבנון בלבנון יזכה שתולים בבית אדוני בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו אור ינון בשיבה דשנים ורעננים יהיו להגיד ישר אדוני צורי ולא עוולה תבוא. Page 142. The angels accompany us on this Shabbat. And as is our tradition, our Shabbat is blessed in the way that we have prepared Shabbat, so too may our week be blessed. If we've laid out a beautiful table, a tablecloth, prepared Shabbat, cooked for Shabbat, not all of us are able to be at home to be cooking for Shabbat, but so too may our week be filled with blessing, with Kedushah, with holiness and with sanctity. Page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch. Oachem leShalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barvuni leShalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem leShalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We rise on page 144 for the Chatzi Kaddish and the call to prayer. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabban, be'alma divrach chirutei ve'amlich malchutei, מחייך כל נובי יומך כל ובחיי לכל בית ישראל בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן יהי שמי רבם מבורך ועל המולד מהמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתבר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי קודשה בריחו לילה מן קל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה ואני רק בעלמה ואמרו אמן ברכו את אדוני Join with me on page 148. Baruch ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhma poteach she'arim u'bitvuna meshenei eitim, u'machlif et הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם, ורקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור. ומעביר יום ומבין לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המריב ערבים. אהבת עולם, בית Yisrael, Amcha Avta, Amcha Avta, Torah u'mitzvot, Ukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadta, Otanu limadta, Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochlenu, ufkumenu nasiach bechukecha, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. יהם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגי יומם ולילה, נגי יומם ולילה, ואהבתך לתסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. Israel, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Shem kevod, Shem kevod, malchuto leolam, leolam vayed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת פעם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לתותפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל, ואמרת עליהם, ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית, וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם כראשים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. If you'll join with me at the bottom of page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, there is one God in heaven and on earth. The high heavens declare your glory, may earth reveal your justice and your love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered, at Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, norat elot osef ele, norat elot osef ele, ma'alechutecha ra'u banecha, חוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זהני אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ים בם בם בים בירי בם, ים בם בם בים בם, ים בם בם בים בירי בם, ים בם בם בים בם, איי איי לה 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 לה, ים בם בם בים בם, איי איי לה 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 לה, ים בם בם בים בם. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני קהל ישראל. If you'll join with me at the bottom of page 160 in the English. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our sovereign, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and our coming, to life and to peace evermore. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Eternal One, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and most importantly, over Jerusalem. Page 162. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. And so we rise on page 164 for the Amidah, the Tefillah, the standing prayer, as is our tradition. We'll chant the first three benedictions as a community, and then we'll continue in silence, whether using the words of our prayer books or the words of our hearts. Page 164. Adonai sevatai tivtach ufi yagid teilatecha, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים, אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. לרצון נמרי פי, והגיון ליבי לפניך. אדוני צורי וגואלי, may the words of my mouth and meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Israel. ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. And so Shabbat Shalom once again for those who are joining us online. It is fantastic that we have so many who are able to join us, whether you're able to be with us in the sanctuary or not. It is fantastic to share Shabbat together. This Shabbat is Shabbat Dvarim, and so it is the beginning of Deuteronomy. And it begins with a recapitulation of the story that Moses tells, that Moshe tells throughout the Torah. But most importantly, it has this citation. Eicha eseh levadi. How can I bear this alone, he says. This weight, this burden, and this quarrel. Because, of course, Jews never quarrel. There's never a diversity of opinion. How shall I bear this burden? It's interesting how Moshe experiences this as a burden. Despite having been delegated directly by God. You'd think it's something that oh my God, it's so exciting. I have young children at the moment. It's a surreal experience. My young children are at the end of dinner wanting to wash the dishes. I don't have to ask them. I don't have to tell them. They're in a hurry to be the first to wash the dishes. I'm sure it won't last, right? But they love having jobs delegated to them. They want this at this age. They're spunky kids who are full of pep and independence and opinionated. They're Jewish. I did actually ask for independent, strong-willed young girls, but I wanted that to happen when they were 25 and leaving home. I got it when they were 2. This Torah portion has Moshe complaining about this idea of how burdensome this load is. And God answers. And it's the art of delegation. It's the art of appointing judges. And throughout this final book, we have the delegation to judges. And one of the most important key things that the commentaries talk about, and it's based on this verse in Deuteronomy, in this Torah portion, verse 17. You shall not show partiality in legal matters. Hear out the small and the great alike. Do not be influenced by anyone, for the judgment belongs to Adonai. It sounds so obvious that judges should not be partial. It sounds so obvious that judges should be independent. And it's very specific. They may not take a bribe of any kind, nor be seen to take a bribe, or be seen to take anything which may give the appearance of taking a bribe, such as flying on someone else's, some billionaire's private jet and staying in their home, or the like, which we see constantly in the American system. The partiality, the polarization, the conservative, the Republicans versus the Democrats, as it's playing out within the legal system, is precisely what this is saying, do not do. Your judges cannot be partial. They cannot be seen to be partial, nor can they be seen to be accepting any form of gift whatsoever, which, even if it isn't a bribe, may in some way influence their decision or be seen to potentially influence their decision. And it specifies the rich and the poor, the small and the great alike. So you cannot slow walk through the legal system in order to time out the legal case against you. The mind boggles how this is playing itself out. It is also playing itself out in Israel. So the question at the moment that has brought so many out to demonstrate against the current government is the attempt to change the legal system so the current Knesset can have direct influence on the judges and therefore influence potentially how the judges the outcome of legal cases. So the attempt and desire to influence the legal system is undermining the whole of the legal system in Israel, and that is why so many have been demonstrating against it prior to October 7th and since October 7th. Every time this legislation is brought back, and of course we can only speculate what is the motivation of this current government to try and influence. I love that sound, just so you know. That is the sound of a future in our congregation. So Dad, don't worry about it. That's a wonderful thing, because without that sound, this congregation has no future, right? So it is a wonderful thing to hear the sound. We're going to try and get the clapping to be a bit more rhythmic and on the beat, right? Don't apologize. It's a wonderful thing, but the sound of children in the synagogue is a wonderful sound. Actually, we have a whole bunch of little drums that we sometimes give them, but it causes a certain amount of chaos as well. The impartiality of the judges and the attempt to influence that in Israel today is the cause of so much disruption in the current outcry from the population. And especially in the context where we have a government which is incredibly polarized and polarizing and is dominated by a very small faction who hold the government to ransom, without whom the current government falls. And so therefore they are able to dictate so many of the government policies and say outrageous things, the result of which is that we are now in the ICJ with various countries claiming that government officials have made statements which are genocidal in nature. And you know what? They're not completely wrong. I'm not saying that Israel is doing genocide. I'm saying some of the comments made by some of the government ministers are so radically inclined that they are feeding the court case against us. And that is unconscionable. And they are being given a platform because they have the balance of power, and that allows them disproportionate power. It is exactly anathema to what this Torah portion is saying. Appoint judges, delegate, and make sure that they are impartial and are seen to be impartial. When Israel was an autonomous people dwelling in its own land, I'm citing here, all of its religious activities were centered around the temple. Judges were not elected, but selected, and those who were commissioned to make the appointments were forbidden to show any favoritism whatsoever. The candidates had to meet certain qualifications of the highest level. In rabbinic times, the highest court was the Sanhedrin, composed of 71 judges, and the head of the body of jurists was called the Nasi, president. In view of the fact that Moshe was the first Nasi, every succeeding one was to be considered in the same light as Moshe in his day. A lower court called the small Sanhedrin was composed of 23 sages, and such a court was appointed for every community that had more than 120 people. And in this way, law and order and impartiality was established throughout the wider community. So this Shabbat, as we begin the recapitulation of the story of the Torah with Parashat Dvarim, may we find this impartiality. May we find leaders who can lead without simply constantly braying against the opposition. May we find leaders who can be statesmen or women and lead us even when it may compromise their electability in the next election. That's what this Torah portion is talking about. Having judges and leaders who lead with grace, with class, with honesty, and not simply with self-interest. May this truly be how Australian leadership and judiciary behave. Ken Yeh Ratzon. We turn back to our prayer book and we rise for the Aleinu, page 586. 586, please rise. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליותר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ועושה את הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת לו בגבי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. We remain standing for a few more moments as we think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts along with our own. This Shabbat we continue to recall all those whose fates are still unknown, murdered or still captive in Gaza, so close in geographic proximity, and yet a lifetime separates them from us. Emily Damari, 27, was taken hostage from Kibbutz Kfar Aza. The British-Israeli dual citizen's last message around 10 a.m. described terrorists in her neighborhood and shooting around her apartment. Out of 37 residents of Kibbutz Kfar Aza's young generation neighborhood, 11 were murdered, 7 kidnapped and taken to the Gaza Strip. They are among the 1,200 or so who were killed and 253 who were kidnapped. At this point in time, we do not know whether Emily is still alive. In the period of Shloshim, we recognize Greg Levine, Walter Firestone, Tom Jacoby, John Jacobson, Sura Unga, Marion Stanley, Deborah Randa, and the yahrzeits which fall this Shabbat or this week: Bella Beracha, Mike Bonus, Anna Brand, Gloria Cowan, Morris Dabchek, Diane Eilenberg, Leon Firestone, Helen Flinter Leach, Kurt Geiger, Elias Gelbart, Jeffrey Goldman, Rose Habinski, Adi Hammerman, Lily Harris, Jeff Hutchinson, Charles Jonas, David Komisarov, Anthony Layton, Elijah Levy, Morris Levkovitz, Helen Light, Adolf Lustig, George Mermelstein, Barbara Nelson, Hanya Popiolik, Isaac Pose, Susan Reichman, John Schwartz, Sonia Shore, Zmil Silberscher, Elsie Sonnenberg, Chaya Zulklapper, Betty Vandenberg, Esther Weiss. If there are other names that you'd like to add to this list, please call them out as I look around the room. To these names, we recognize also all those dying so unnecessarily in conflicts, whether in Israel, in Ukraine, or elsewhere around the world. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing, and may these conflicts come to an end. Page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba, v'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon, v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשה בריחו. לעילה מנכ"ל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה. וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו. Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Val Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all of Israel, and to all of humanity. And we say, Amen. And so we'll transition to Kiddush. I will note that next Shabbat is Rabbi John Levi's 90th birthday celebration that we will join together here with a service, a few special speeches on his behalf, and a celebratory Kiddush. I've just been given the Melbourne Jewish Week program just tonight. Thank you so much. Lovely to see it just came out today, which is why I haven't seen it yet, which I'm delighted to see come out. And then for those of you who are online, just be aware you are going to be able to hear us, but you won't be able to see us, as I'm going to take Kiddush and Motzi to the back of the sanctuary, because we've found that there are circles of spilt wine or Kiddush appearing on our prayer books, and we'd rather not have that happen. And so we've decided to go back to the old model, which is that we would invite everyone to join us at the back for Kiddush and Motzi. And so if you are online, just be aware that we are heading to the back of the hall. And if you go to the back of the hall, you will find grape juice and wine. For some reason, they got red grape juice, so be aware. Even though I normally say the white is grape juice and the red is wine, today the red is grape juice and the red is wine. So be careful if you're serving to young children that you get the right one, or if you prefer to have grape juice, just be aware that you've got the right one. I can see juice in front of me, is, I don't know if that's wine over there. Please join with me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'v'ratzon inchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים הבנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. L'chaim. Yes, the wine is definitely vintage tomorrow, as always. And then if you'll join with me in the motzi, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat Shalom and Beteavon. Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos. Bon appetit. Good Shabbos.